There is a deeply persistent illusion baked into human biology, and it has shaped our imagination of space travel for generations. When we look out at the night sky, our senses report a clean, silent, perfectly empty void. The darkness between stars appears to be nothing more than a frictionless ocean, patiently waiting for a sufficiently powerful engine and a sufficiently sturdy hull. Popular culture has reinforced this picture endlessly, presenting interstellar voyages as fundamentally an engineering problem, a matter of building bigger rockets, sourcing more fuel, and designing metals strong enough to withstand the cold of deep space. That picture is not merely incomplete, it is catastrophically wrong, and the reason it is wrong has nothing to do with our engineering limitations. It has everything to do with the foundational particle architecture of the universe itself. To understand why no physical vessel can ever cross the distances between stars at meaningful speed, you have to abandon the biological perspective entirely and adopt the mathematical one. Your eyes are extraordinarily poor instruments for measuring what actually fills the space between galaxies. The universe does not present its true structure to naked human perception. It hides the overwhelming majority of its mass in a form that interacts with your retinas not at all, that passes through the walls of your laboratories without leaving a single measurable trace at ordinary velocities, and that accumulates in the vast cosmic filaments threading the large-scale structure of space with a density that would absolutely horrify any serious mission planner who genuinely understood its implications. Consider a simple analogy to calibrate your intuition before we move into the particle physics. Imagine driving a precision-engineered high-speed race car across an enormous dry lake bed. The air around you appears perfectly clear. The path ahead looks completely open. But suppose that suspended invisibly throughout the entire environment, held in place by some exotic force your eyes cannot register, are hundreds of millions of microscopic spheres of dense, solid tungsten. At walking speed, you push those spheres aside so gently that you never register their presence. The interaction forces are simply too low to produce a measurable effect on your vehicle. But now accelerate that car to 200 miles per hour. Those same invisible tungsten spheres, which caused you no trouble whatsoever at low speed, now mathematically become a continuous storm of armor-piercing projectiles. The kinetic energy of the collision transforms each gentle, invisible sphere into a destructive agent. The engine shreds. The driver is gone in an instant. Nothing about the environment changed. The tungsten spheres were always there. What changed was the velocity, and velocity is precisely the variable that rewrites the entire physical relationship between a traveling object and the medium it moves through. That is the overarching physical reality of interstellar space. The void is not empty, it never was, and at the velocities required to reach another star within any meaningful time frame, the invisible architecture of that void becomes a catastrophic weapon. The first layer of this particle nightmare is dark matter. Modern cosmology has arrived at a picture of cosmic mass distribution that is profoundly uncomfortable for anyone designing a spacecraft. Roughly 85% of all the mass in the observable universe is not composed of the ordinary baryonic matter that forms stars, planets, and spacecraft hulls. It is composed of a fundamentally different category of particle, one that does not emit light, does not absorb light, and does not interact through the electromagnetic force that governs virtually every experience of matter you have ever had. At the velocities of ordinary human life, dark matter passes through you, through the Earth, through entire planetary systems, without producing any interaction strong enough to measure directly. This is precisely why its existence was inferred gravitationally rather than detected through direct contact. The interaction cross-section at low velocities is negligibly small, but cross-section is not a fixed property. It is a function of energy, and energy is a function of velocity. When a spacecraft begins approaching a substantial fraction of the speed of light, the kinetic energy of each dark matter particle encountered from the reference frame of the ship rises catastrophically. The ship is not traveling through an empty room. It is traveling through an ocean of invisible mass, and at relativistic velocities, the mathematical relationship between the hull atoms and those dark matter particles shifts into a regime of violent forced interaction. The heavy metallic atoms of the spacecraft hull begin colliding with dark matter particles at energies that exceed anything produced in ordinary electromagnetic chemistry. The subatomic structure of the hull material is not designed to absorb those collisions, because no engineering process currently understood can produce a material engineered against an interaction that is fundamentally governed by weak force and gravitational cross-sections at extreme energies. The collisions generate a propagating subatomic shock wave that does not merely scratch the surface of the metal. It destabilizes the atomic bonds from within, converting the carefully arranged crystalline geometry of aerospace-grade alloys into a progressively disordered catastrophic cascade of subatomic disintegration radiating inward from the hull surface. The ship does not bounce off a wall. It dissolves from the outside in continuously, relentlessly, and with a mathematical precision that no amount of additional hull thickness can fundamentally overcome, because adding more hull simply provides more material for the same catastrophic interaction process to consume. The second layer of the physics is arguably even more philosophically disturbing, because it reaches into the most fundamental mechanism by which matter possesses the property we call mass. The Higgs field is not a metaphor or pedagogical simplification. It is a real quantum field that permeates all of space at every point in the universe simultaneously, and it is the direct physical mechanism through which particles acquire mass. Every massive particle you have ever encountered, every atom in the hull of a theoretical interstellar vessel, possesses its inertia precisely because it is continuously coupled to this field. That coupling is not a one-way transaction. When a massive object moves through the Higgs field, the field responds. At low velocities, the response is negligible, absorbed into the ordinary inertial behavior of matter that Newton described centuries ago. But at relativistic velocities, the situation changes in a way that most popular discussions of space travel completely neglect to address. A spacecraft accelerating to extreme fractions of the speed of light is not simply moving through a passive geometric backdrop. It is violently agitating a localized quantum field that is coupled to every single atom in its structure. The Higgs field interaction at relativistic velocities generates what is mathematically equivalent to an additional drag term, a continuous energetic penalty that grows with velocity and that must be continuously overcome, not merely to accelerate further, but simply to maintain the current speed. The engines are not fighting the absence of air resistance. They are fighting the active resistance of the field that gives the ship its mass in the first place. The universe has built a trap into the very mechanism of matter, a trap that becomes more aggressive the faster you move through it, a localized particle constraint that scales in precisely the direction most catastrophic for any ship attempting to reach another star. The energy requirements do not simply grow with velocity. They grow in a way that approaches infinity as the ship approaches the speed of light, not because of some abstract mathematical limit, but because the physical reality of the Higgs field is actively generating mass-equivalent resistance against the direction of travel. The third layer strips away any remaining structural confidence in the materials themselves. A spacecraft, regardless of how advanced its metallurgy, is fundamentally a temporary geometric arrangement of atoms. Those atoms are held in their precise spatial relationships by the electromagnetic force, specifically by the quantum mechanical behavior of electron shells, generating the chemical bonds that give solid materials their integrity, their tensile strength, their resistance to deformation. That bond structure is extraordinarily robust at the temperatures and pressures of ordinary engineering environments. It is not robust against continuous high-energy particle bombardment sustained over the years or decades that any interstellar crossing would require, even at speeds that are themselves physically catastrophic for the reasons already described. The interstellar medium, even setting aside dark matter entirely, contains cosmic ray particles of extraordinary energy. These are not photons, they are protons, heavier atomic nuclei, and other subatomic fragments accelerated by supernovae and other violent astrophysical processes to energies that dwarf anything produced in particle accelerators on Earth. A spacecraft traveling at relativistic velocity does not encounter these particles at their natural distribution of energies. From the reference frame of the ship, the energies are blue, shifted upward dramatically, transforming an already hostile radiation environment into a continuous bombardment of particles capable of directly shattering atomic nuclei, severing chemical bonds, and generating cascades of secondary radiation that propagate through the hull material and the biological crew simultaneously. Over the timescales of interstellar crossing, this bombardment does not merely damage the hull. It rewrites its atomic structure entirely, converting precisely engineered aerospace materials into a progressively disordered collection of transmuted atoms, radiation-damaged crystal lattices, and accumulated nuclear decay products that bear increasingly little structural resemblance to the original material. The ship ages at the subatomic level at a rate proportional to its velocity, and the relationship is not gentle. The universe physically rewrites the chemistry of the vessel, turning advanced structural materials into microscopic brittleness long before the destination comes within any measurable range. What emerges from this particle-level analysis is not a picture of interstellar travel as an engineering challenge awaiting a sufficiently creative solution. It is a picture of interstellar travel as a fundamental violation of physical law, not because any single effect is individually insurmountable in the engineering sense, but because the combined particle physics of dark matter interaction, Higgs field resistance, and continuous subatomic bombardment create an overlapping, mutually reinforcing system of physical constraints that become more severe with precisely the increase in velocity that would make the journey possible in the first place. The universe scales its defenses against the traveler in direct proportion to the traveler's ambition. Nature enforces its vast physical scale through particle physics. The dark matter ocean saturates every cubic meter of interstellar space with invisible mass that velocity transforms into a shredding force. The Higgs field couples to every atom of the vessel and generates a continuously growing drag that scales toward infinite energy cost. The cosmic ray environment rewrites the atomic structure of any material left exposed to interstellar velocities over astrophysical timescales. These are not three separate problems to be solved sequentially. They are three simultaneous expressions of the same foundational physical reality. The universe is not empty. It is saturated with particle-level machinery that enforces its own geometry against any object that attempts to cross it quickly. Interstellar travel is not impossible because our rockets are too small. It is impossible because the foundational forces of nature have constructed the space between stars as a particle physics barrier of absolute and elegant precision. YouTube video description. The darkness between stars is not empty. It never was. Modern particle physics has quietly assembled a picture of interstellar space so hostile to physical travel that the engineering conversation becomes irrelevant before it begins. This video dismantles the most persistent illusion in human imagination about space travel and replaces it with the brutal mathematical reality hiding beneath the dark void. Dark matter saturates every cubic meter of interstellar space, invisible at low velocities, but catastrophically destructive at relativistic speeds. The Higgs field, the very mechanism that gives all matter its mass, generates a physically growing drag that scales toward infinity as velocity increases. Continuous cosmic ray bombardment rewrites the atomic structure of any material exposed to interstellar conditions over time. These are not engineering problems. They are foundational particle physics constraints built into the architecture of the universe itself. Nature enforces its vast scale through subatomic law. This is the physics that makes interstellar travel impossible.